So, we've all heard about dopamine, right? It's that chemical in your brain that gives you that little rush of excitement when you win a game, or even when you get a notification on your phone. But what's the deal with dopamine really? Is it just a feel good molecule, or is there more to it than that?
Great question. Let's break it down. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Basically, it's a chemical messenger that helps your brain communicate. But here's the interesting part. Dopamine is way more than just a feel-good molecule. Think of it like your brain's personal reward accountant. It tracks your effort, your goals, and even your wins. It's what gives you that sense of accomplishment when you hit a milestone. Without dopamine, though, you'd have a hard time staying motivated, focused, or even looking forward to the things that usually drive you.
Wait, hold on. So, dopamine isn't just about making us feel happy, it's also the reason we get super pumped to dive into a project only to lose steam halfway through.
Exactly. Think of dopamine like your brain's GPS. It doesn't just reward you when you finally hit your goal. It gives you little bursts of dopamine along the way, whenever you're heading in the right direction. But here's the thing. If you're always chasing those quick dopamine hits, like checking your phone or munching on junk food, you're training your brain to look for short-term rewards. And over time, this weakens your ability to focus and stay motivated for the bigger, longer-term goals.
So, what you're saying is that dopamine actually fuels motivation by rewarding the journey, not just the end goal, right?
Yep, exactly. And here's a cool example that'll make you rethink how we can hack our dopamine. Have you ever heard of cold water immersion?
Oh, like those crazy ice baths athletes swear by? What's the connection with dopamine?
You're on the right track. So, researchers have found that exposing your body to cold, whether it's through ice baths, cold showers, or even just dipping your foot into something freezing, actually triggers a pretty big dopamine boost. And unlike quick fixes like sugar or caffeine, this increase sticks around for hours. We're talking about a 2.5x boost in dopamine that lasts much longer than just the initial cold shock.
Wait, hours? So, you're telling me all I need to do is brave a few minutes of freezing water and I'll be feeling motivated all day.
Yep, that's one way to look at it. It's like your body's way of rewarding you for pushing through something uncomfortable. When you step into cold water, even just up to your neck, your brain registers the struggle. But then, it rewards your resilience by flooding you with dopamine afterward. Pretty clever, huh?
Clever, sure. But man, that sounds awful. Do people actually enjoy that?
I wouldn't say anyone enjoys those first few seconds. But over time, people start looking forward to that aftermath. Feeling clear-headed, calm, and energized. That's the magic of it. Your brain learns that, hey, this effort leads to a reward. And soon enough, you actually start craving the challenge itself. It's a great example of how our reward system can be trained.
So basically, it's retraining my brain to love the effort instead of just waiting for the reward. Wow, that's a lot to wrap my head around. All right. So we've talked about cold showers and how they boost dopamine, but now I'm curious, what about physical activity? Does any kind of workout give us that effect? Or what if someone's not exactly a gym rat?
Great question. And here's the good news. You don't need to crush it at the gym to get dopamine benefits. Even something as simple as a 10-minute walk can give you a nice little dopamine boost. Regular movement, like walking, stretching, or light jogging, helps your brain release dopamine in a steady, supportive way. The key is to find something you enjoy and can keep up with, even if you're just getting started.
Wait, hold up. A quick walk actually does the trick? Like after a couple of hours of staring at my laptop screen?
Exactly. Short breaks with some movement can help improve your focus and give you that little dopamine kick. Over time, your brain starts linking those moments of activity to better mood and mental clarity. It's not about how long you're moving, it's all about making it a consistent habit.
Okay, that's doable. But what about socializing? Does hanging out with friends mess with my brain chemicals?
Oh, it does a fascinating number on your brain, but in the best way possible. Positive social interactions actually trigger the release of oxytocin, which, here's the twist, boosts dopamine in your brain's reward pathways. So when you're laughing with friends, helping someone out, or even having a deep chat, you're naturally improving your dopamine system. It's your brain's way of rewarding connection and collaboration.
So just hanging with friends can boost focus and motivation later on.
Exactly, especially when the interaction feels meaningful. It doesn't have to be elaborate, just a quick call, catching up for a moment, or expressing gratitude. Even tiny interactions can make a huge difference in how you feel.
I'm on board with that. I can definitely do something simple like that.
Then there's mindfulness. It's a key player in managing dopamine. Practicing mindfulness helps train your brain to stay anchored, which means you can avoid those wild dopamine spikes and crashes. It's about creating a balance.
I get that, but mindfulness feels a little abstract. How do I even begin with something like that?
Fair enough. Let's make it simple. Try this. Sit still for 30 seconds and focus on your breath. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Repeat it 4 times. That's all. It might bring a bit of calm, and over time, it helps you stay focused and balanced.
Okay, I'm sold. 30 seconds, I can do that.
Exactly. Mindfulness doesn't require hours. It's about wiring your brain to handle effort while staying focused. Something that's invaluable when you're working toward any goal.
So, movement, social connection, and mindfulness. It's like creating a balanced routine to keep dopamine in check and your motivation steady.
Exactly. The brain thrives on balance. By focusing on these simple, regular habits, you're giving yourself the tools to stay grounded and motivated without getting caught in extreme highs or lows. It's all about long-term consistency.
So, Eric, we've talked about movement, connection, and mindfulness for balanced dopamine. But what about when the stakes are high, like when you're studying or prepping for exams? Motivation feels like it comes in bursts and then burns out. Any tips for keeping it steady?
Absolutely, Vishnu. The key here is sustainability. Think of motivation like a fire. You can't expect it to stay blazing if you're just tossing random fuel in. What works? Small, regular inputs. Those little wins that keep the fire going without overwhelming you.
Oh, so small wins like crossing things off a to do list?
Exactly. Here's a practical example. During exam prep, if your goal is just, I need to ace the test, that's huge and distant. But if you break it down, like organising your notes or solving just 10 problems a day, you're feeding motivation in small doses. Your brain gets to celebrate those wins consistently.
That makes total sense. I actually tried that back in school, like splitting a huge math textbook into a problem a day plan. At first, it felt slow, but by the end, I was like, wow, I actually finished it. Guess I was rewarding myself for staying consistent.
Exactly. Your brain thrives on progress, not perfection. Those small wins reinforce the actions you're taking, making you want to keep going. And here's the kicker. It trains you to stay motivated long term, not just until you hit the next big milestone.
Okay, but where do breaks fit into all this? My problem is I either zone out scrolling social media or just power through and end up totally burnt out.
Breaks are a game changer, but how you take them matters. Instead of getting lost in social media, try active breaks, like taking a short walk, stretching, or even doing something creative, like doodling. It refreshes you without letting your dopamine crash completely.
Got it? So, more about switching gears than just zoning out. Makes sense. But what if my dopamine crashes? How do I bounce back quickly?
That's where habits like mindfulness, movement, and even social connection come in. Your dopamine system thrives on balance. So if you hit a low, start small. Call a friend, do a quick mindfulness exercise, or just take a step back and regroup. It's about gently nudging your brain back on track instead of forcing it.
Hmm. So, it's not just about what I do, it's how I build consistent habits around it, right?
Exactly. When your dopamine is in balance, it becomes your ally. The key is consistency, small, regular inputs, and knowing when to step back. Over time, this balance won't just help you stay on track, it'll make the whole process feel rewarding.
All right, Eric. You've basically given me the blueprint for keeping my brain engine running. But I feel like I've also got homework now.
Ha, that's the best part, because the way to really master this is to put it into practice. Start small, pick 1 or 2 habits, like breaking tasks into bite-sized goals or practicing simple mindfulness. Start with those and let your brain get used to the rhythm. You know, not too quite.
Got it. Small steps, big wins. I like that. I'll give it a go. Maybe even brave an ice bath someday. Though I might need a little